Hello everybody. Please excuse the sound of our heater. It comes on and off. I noticed that while editing some videos. But anyways, so this is going to be my 2022 yearly plans overview. And I'm going to cover things, goals in both my personal life, the channel, crafting, all the kind of things. So this is probably going to be a little bit long. I might have to do a reset or two as I grab things to show you. I don't want to do too much editing because I have things. This is my big prep time for the new year, and so I have things I still need to do. I need to set up a yearly challenge over in Stitchy Quest. I probably need to make up the first quest of the new year and do a little pre-planning there because I really want to get back onto the ball game. In my planner, one of the end pages in the month of January was kind of like a goals and like almost like resolutions. And you had to pick a word of the year for this upcoming year. And my word was progress, although I probably could have gone with improve. And I don't mean that in a way of where like I just want to think negatively about everything I've done in the past, but there are a lot of places that I want to improve, and this is the year that I really just am going to try to motivate myself to do those things. And a lot of that has to do with this channel or my group on Facebook. Spiritually, there's just a lot of areas that I have that I can improve, and this year I want to make that happen. I want to really push myself to be better and do better. So I'm going to go over kind of all of those type of goals. So this is probably going to be a long one. There is a kind of mini full coverage whip parade as I have some full coverage goals. I mean, they're not attainable, but making progress is maybe the word I should have chosen was progress. I don't know. I will add those in. Wait, was that the word I chose? I've already forgotten. What was the word I chose? It was progress. Yes. Nailing it. Okay. So I have several planners that I will be using for the next year. One I didn't bring over here, and it's a happy planner, and I'm just gonna use that for household things. So they have 3 vertical boxes per week. I think that's the planner I chose. So each day has its own box, and there's 3. So I'm gonna do one for me, like doctor's appointments, all those kind of appointments, one for my husband, and then one for other. That'll be like a catch-all for like dog appointments and things like that. So I can take that down and go through everything with my husband. But this is my master planner. This is where all my life plans are gonna go, mainly crafting, but also spiritual related. This is geared towards a planner that's geared towards Latter-day Saints. You can also get non-LDS but still Christian content, and I think you can get non-religious. I'm not positive about that, but this planner is amazing, and for some reason I chose to get the biggest one this year. I mean, this thing is a hunker. It takes up a lot of space, but at the same time I'm kind of glad because it allows me to just spread out everything I want to keep track of and just have room and not feel like I'm squishing things in. So I'm really excited about that. I also have this, it was a gift from my sister Jo, my knitting journal, and so this I'm just going to use every time I pull out a knitting project. If it's the first time I'm working on it, then I will create a new page for it. If it's not, then I am just going to jot down the date, and maybe if I'm listening to a book or something like that, I'll write that down in there. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time in here, but I am going to keep track. I have been thinking about utilizing this Lectrum 1917 notebook that I have. I usually use these for bullet journaling, and that was my plan when I purchased this. I got it at Barnes & Noble. I have purchased this though from Amazon before, but then I ordered this big planner, and eventually I do want to go back to bullet journaling because I do enjoy bullet journaling, but for now having an already organized system is kind of where I'm wanting to go. So I have thought about turning this into same kind of format as this, where there's a 2-page spread for each project, and I can keep track of when I work on projects. So I might do this for cross stitch. Yeah, that's kind of one thing I've been thinking about. But we will see if that happens. It would be nice to kind of have a record to go back and look at. The other thing I'm going to be utilizing is I got a bunch of these tiny little notebooks. They came together. I gave my husband 2 in his stocking. But there's a bunch of them, and I'm thinking of assigning one to several different kind of things. So I might do this blue one for the knitting and crochet house cup on Ravelry, where I'm sorted into Ravenclaw, and just like use a couple pages each month to track the homework assignments, detention, Quidditch matches, the headmistress challenge, the head of house challenge, the head girl challenge, detention, did I say that one already? There's 8 classes. You can submit 1 detention. I think that there are 4 Quidditch matches. There's 4 or 5 Quidditch matches spaced out over the 3 months. And then each month has a headmistress challenge, which I mean sometimes is as simple as posting a picture. And then in the house, your own house, there's a headmistress challenge, a head of house challenge, and that there's a new one each month. Although last term our headmistress challenge was the one that spanned the whole thing, and it was just submitting homework, so it wasn't anything out or hard. And then each house has a head girl or head student. They changed the term to make it gender inclusive, but I mean this is predominantly just women participating, so it's usually a girl. But anyway, she's got a challenge. So tracking all of those kind of things in one notebook that is dedicated to that. Then there are several groups I'm in that have a monthly challenge, and so I've thought to dedicate like one of these per those groups. So like Daily 30 has a monthly challenge, and for certain projects, so could utilize one notebook for that. They also have a monthly challenge where every month there's like 10 prompts and you try to do all 10. I might utilize a book for that, and I mean this would definitely last for more than a year. It will last for a couple of years. I've got my own group's challenges that I could use another book for, the full coverage fanatics, just those kind of things. I want to really use these little books And I have this one here that I've already done for Whipco. Actually, I should have used this one for Ravenclaw, but I didn't think about that ahead of time. And so I'll just keep using it. And, you know, in the past, I've always been hesitant to write on covers and make them not as pretty. But if I really, really want to utilize these, and what's the point of buying them if I'm not going to utilize them? Then I need to make them work for me. And so that's kind of what I'm looking at doing this year, is just, in the past, I haven't done things that necessarily worked efficiently for me. They were good ideas, but I didn't make them work properly. And so I just really want to rectify that this year. So going with that, I have notes. So I'm going to try to do more notes, being more efficient in my videos. Well, efficient, they're still going to be long because I'm a talker. I'm a chatty Cathy. That's just who I am. But make them less a little fly by the seat of my pants. Like doing this, having this written out, it made sure that I was able to quickly look and make sure I had every project, because frequently what happens is I miss out on showing you guys something I've worked on because I just didn't write stuff down and gather them. So this is something that I'm hoping to improve this year to do better for the future. There are 4 life things that I'm going to try to do every day, and I want to do these first thing when I wake up so that I just set myself up for a nice start to the day. And after that, I'm going to give myself some permission to just do some crafting or take a little me time. So the first thing is daily scripture study. I bought this sticker tracker, that has it broken down for the daily readings. We're studying the Old Testament this year in my church, and so it broke it out, and so I stuck those onto the monthly calendar. They have check boxes, so when I've completed one, I am going to be able to check it off. And these are fairly small readings, like a chapter at a time, which makes it totally doable. I then want to spend 20 to 30 minutes either reading a magazine article from our church magazine, or reading from the New Testament or something like that. I want to be able to read through all of the scriptures this year. That's one of my big goals. This planner has a tracker for that. I actually need to add a little tab so that I can flip to it easily. But as you read it, you just kind of highlight off a box. And so I'm really excited to use that. The other thing that I am going to try to do this year, and one of the first things I want to do every day, is zone cleaning. So I broke my house up into 4 zones, and every month there's one of these pages, so I can write them all down again. So 30 minutes a day in the zone, starting with, so the first week of the month will be zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, and the months that have 5 weeks, I'm just going to do the zone cleaning as a general house spot cleaning. Like where I see there's a problem, spend 30 minutes first thing in the day working on that. There's check boxes so I can cross check them off, and if the zone doesn't get all the way cleaned, that's fine. It will cycle back in the next month. But and this is cleaning I want to do on top of my regular type of chores. So I do the laundry, I do the dishes. So this is more like a deeper cleaning that I don't really do much of by myself because I just get overwhelmed. by the amount there is to do. So I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about zone cleaning and just setting like 30 minutes a day. And they say you have to start slowly, and eventually it becomes easier and you become faster. And the big problem rooms become more manageable. So that is kind of really my hope with doing this, is just small bites to tackle problem areas. So yeah. The next one is exercise 30 minutes daily. I need to do this for my health, for my diabetes. Back in the fall, the pills I was taking started to make me really nauseous, and I was throwing up every time I was taking them, so I wasn't even getting the medicinal benefits. But in addition to that, so now they have me on some fast-acting insulin, which I keep forgetting to take because it's upstairs, and when I'm downstairs and I'm about to eat, I just don't even remember, so I might try to relocate that to downstairs. But one thing they always say to improve your blood sugar levels and get yourself moving and stuff like that, improve your circulation, is 30 minutes daily. I might take some Sundays off because it is a day of rest, but every other day I need to be moving my body, whether it's walking around the neighborhood with an audiobook. In the past, I've tried to set certain audiobooks that I would only let myself listen to while on a walk. So I might do that with like a Brandon Sanderson series I'm familiar with, but also really enjoy and want to come back to. So doing on rainy days or hot days or something like that, I've got exercise DVDs. I've also got my exercises from physical therapy that I could be doing, just things like that to improve my health. So I want to start every day. I'm anticipating all that taking me an hour and a half to 2 hours, and that is how I want to start my day. After that, some leisure downtime. I do have a fourth item, which is read a physical book a month. So like the first month, I'm thinking about starting this Chris Colfer book. I really liked his Land of Stories series a lot. I read them when my sister Alex was younger, and I loved them. So I haven't read this series yet, and I am excited to get started. This book has 22 chapters, so if I read about a chapter a day, that will allow me, 8-9 days of missing, so it should be doable. So that's kind of, I want to read a physical book every single month. Now let's go to, what are you doing? Don't do that. Things I want to improve specifically for this channel. I need to be more consistent with video uploads. I know this, and I say this every single year, and every year I tell myself I'm going to be better about it. But it really is my intention this year to improve this aspect. And so I have kind of made a schedule for myself for how I'm going to do this. So every Monday I plan on recording, and that will allow me the rest of Monday to edit it, get it uploaded but not posted, and be able to add some links. I haven't been adding links. It's something I always say I'm going to do, and then I never go back and do it because I just don't open my computer that often. But I want to make that like my Monday job, as if it is a real job, because I'm a stay-at-home wife to multi-food dogs. And so it's not like I don't have the time or the capacity to do this, I just don't do it. So I want to treat it like a job, and this is what I'm doing on Mondays. Mondays I am recording, I am editing, I am uploading and adding links. That is what I'm going to do on Mondays. they will be posted then on Tuesday mornings. Probably about 8 a.m. Pacific time, 11 a.m. Eastern. So that is my plan. Last year I said I was going to post 2 videos a week, 1 knitting and 1 cross stitch. The problem with that is that I frequently didn't have enough content of one or other of the crafts depending on which bug had bit me. And so this year instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to alternate weeks. So one week is going to be cross stitch, the next one will be knitting crochet, cross stitch, knitting crochet. So that's how that's going to function. In addition to those videos, at the end of each month, around the 27th or 28th, I will be posting a WhipGo preview / wrap up video where I will share what numbers were drawn in the month for the next month, and then I will also review the progress I made on the pieces that were called for the previous month. So that will be 1 WhipGo video a month at the end of the month, the 27th or the 28th. In addition, towards the 2nd or 3rd of each month, so the beginning of it, I will be doing a monthly preview video where I go over the various group challenges that I will be participating in. This will be an all craft video. I will go over that month's Harry Potter knitting and crochet class challenges and what projects I'm going to try to put towards those. I will preview the various groups I'm in that have month-specific challenges and what I'm going to try to work on for those. Just a kind of like monthly preview video. So I'm going to try to post one of those at the beginning of each month. Let's see. So yeah, so I think that those are my video plans. I might occasionally throw in an additional video here and there. For example, I've been asked to do an advent calendar previews where people can purchase advent calendars. So sometime in May or June I will post one that will be yarn specific, because that's actually towards the end of advent buying time for yarns. Some will go a little bit further, but a lot of dyers spend summer and the beginning of fall dyeing. It's a lot of dyeing for these advents, and they need a lot of time to be able to do that. So generally they start going up April, May. So somewhere in that 3-month time period, I will pop in a video that will be specific for yarn advents. Then later in the fall, maybe September or October, I will go over other advents and where you can buy them, some interesting options. I'll show ones that I'm not even getting but will be options for you. I do love advents. I spend a lot of time researching advents, and so I will just start saving links and pictures, and I'll do a video where you can peruse various different kind of advents and join in on the fun. So I'd like to do a video where I show how I do parking for full coverage pieces. Unfortunately, the stand that I am using right now, that my husband got me for my phone for recording, it doesn't flip really to be able to do a top down. I've tried to work with some angling, and I'll try to work a little bit more with it. This is great though for filming. It is very stable. It is at a height that I like, so I'm definitely going to be using this every time I film, but it isn't quite the top-down view that I was hoping to be able to do. So the hunt for that continues. But just a few like sprinkled out videos like that. And the final all craft thing that I wanted to talk about that I will be doing is I am going to be doing a Stitch from Stash this year. However, I am not going to be doing it in the same way that that it's set up in the Stitch for Stash group. So, okay, I'm finding the page. So there's a monthly budget page each month in this planner, and I will be using this for Stitch from Stash. I set a monthly budget of $100, which I know is more than the $25. However, I am including all of my hobbies in this and every purchase that would go with that. So if I purchase a project bag, that comes out of the Stitch from Stash. Yarn subscriptions come out from the Stitch from Stash, which, I mean, just buying a few yarns will get me to that number. So I will have to have finishes, and this will also include advents that I buy, and those are costly. So I had to do a bit of a higher number to account for my very many hobbies, and that includes stickers I buy for my planner. I'm not so much into stickers as I was a while ago, but there are some functional stickers I like to have to use, and so any of that will come from this Stitch from Stash. So given that, I had to also come up with different formulas for how to do credit for different crafts. So I put it on a sticky note that I'll be able to move from month to month. So over here I am following the basic guideline of cross stitch ones. So she gave a formula for how to get the grid number, and if it's in between those numbers, that's what it's worth, right? For knitting and crochet, I am going to be doing the grams of the project divided by 10. So, for example, a typical skein of yarn for socks is 100 grams. You don't generally use the full 100, but I have wide feet, so I always have to do the large size, so it's not unusual for me to do about 70 grams. So that would be $7 for a finished pair of socks. Afghans, I decided to do as I go along because it's just a bit harder. So every month I'm going to do the starting weight. When I work on one, I'll write down the starting weight, and then at the end of the month I'll write down the ending weight, and I will take that difference and then I will again divide by 10, and that will be my dollars for Afghans. And then in addition to that, if I've made something for charity, I'm going to throw in a $5 bonus. So sometimes I do dishcloths for charity or things like that. So I will hats. So those will have a $5 bonus. Quilting, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the length and the width of the quilt, which yes, those are big numbers, and divide it by 2, and that will be the dollar amount. So for a standard like queen size bed, it will be like $80 to $90 of credit. However, quilts take so much time and I finish them so infrequently, and there's a lot of materials involved in doing a quilt, like the batting, the backing, the fabric for the top, that I needed it to be a higher number just to encourage me to work on and finish some of my quilts. So those are my Stitch from Stash plans, and I'm really hoping to stay in the green. Yeah. So that includes the channel life update. See, we're almost half an hour in and I've still got a lot to go. So at the start of each month in this planner, there is a blank page over here, and that's where I'm going to put monthly challenges. So over here I have daily 30, full coverage fanatics, whip go, semi-saints, and then this will be where I write down Ravenclaw type of goals. The next page is also kind of like a preview page. So over here, as I work on a project, I'll write it down, and then for each day I work on it, I will color in a square and write down those numbers so I know how many days I worked on a project. I mean, even if I only work on it for half an hour, I'm counting it. That's just how I'm doing that for tracking. the next page is the monthly calendar, and this I'm just saving for church related things. So I mean, like my scriptural studies. So I will write down the New Testament and other readings that I do. If I have a thought that pops into my head, I'll write it down. But so this page is not going to be for any crafting stuff. It is simply for my church and religious stuff. And then it goes into weekly. So I'm going to keep playing with the weekly spreads until I get something I like. But for now, I should just look this up. For now, this week what I'm trying is, as I work on a project, I will write it down here. I have them color coded where each craft is a different color. So knitting is purple, cross stitch is green, crochet is like an orangey color. Quilting I gave a color, but I hardly quilt. But anyways, so weekly goals. I changed a lot of these from what they were supposed to be. I did leave what's for dinner there because I need to be making dinner more often. And then a little tracker for things I included this week. I included scripture study, physical book reading, exercise, water goal met, zone cleaning, and 30 minutes of knitting. Priorities for the week, and then this square is I changed to reading, so any books that I read at all, whether I finish it or start it or whatever, I'll write there. And then I changed this bottom one to specific for the channel. And so videos I plan for that week or projects I need to include, I will put a little note there. And that's how I'm trying to do it for this week. And if that doesn't work, I will tweak it into the next week until I find something that works for me. So I think that really covers anything that matters in this planner for the channel. There are several pages I don't know how I'm going to use them yet, so I'll just keep thinking about them, and as I decide, I will share. Okay, I'm going to move these out the way. Oops. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about are cross-stitch plans. And these are specific for ones that are year-round type of challenges. So the first one is one I was super excited about. I have not done a temperature design that starts at the beginning of a calendar year. Like I did the one from the anniversary with my husband, our first year of dating. I did the temperatures for that, but we started dating in May, so it wasn't like even starting at the first of the year and going like that. However, Stitch and Mommy put out a new design, and when I saw it, I knew I had to get it. And so it's called Walk With Me, and they're little dog prints. And I love it so much. So I'm going to do a temperature project this year. I pulled out this piece of fabric. It's got a kind of bluish grayish tinge to it, but still very light. And so I think all of the colors will look nice on it. So my plan with this one is, this is going to be my New Year, New Start project, in which I'm going to try to work on some of just the motifs, the extras that are in here. And I'm going to spend about 30 minutes a day on that until I've stitched all of them. And then each paw print is 5 days. So every 5 days I will do a paw print. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna do that, because sorry, I keep putting it down and picking up. This is only 4 stitches, so I don't want to pick it up for 4 stitches all of the time. So where I live, it gets really hot in the summer, so I chose the the key for the hot weather. So in a little bit, I am going to go make some floss drops and put a strand for each temperature in there and just be able to be ready for this project. So that's one of the things I need to accomplish today or tomorrow. Semi-Sane Stitchers is having a yearly challenge, a calendar one. And I wasn't going to participate until I was kind of doing some stash organization a couple weeks ago. And I came across this pattern that I have. And this is Prairie Schoolers, a Prairie Year. So each one is associated with a different month. And I thought that this would actually be quite doable as a monthly challenge. Each design is about 45 by 45. I don't remember for sure what the requirements were for this challenge, so I'm pretty sure that fits the specified number square grid that it should be in, but I do need to double check that for sure. And then I found this piece in stash that like is actually folded in with 12 boxes. So I'm just gonna I'm going to stitch them all on the same fabric and worry about FFOing them later, because sometimes it gets hard with a grit, like with a, well, I use a Q-snap to have it properly and fit with littler pieces of fabric. So I'm just going to do them all on the piece of fabric before cutting them out and finishing them. I haven't fully decided how I'm going to FFO them yet, but yeah, I'll decide that later, next year or in December. We'll see. The next group I want to talk about is my own group, Stitchy Quest. And I haven't been putting up yearly challenges. I just kind of put up the quests that relate to the book as we go along. However, this year I was really wanting to put up a yearly quest so people who finish a challenge early have something to work on, or when I don't post like I'm supposed to, they have something to work on. And so and I haven't posted this yet, but hopefully by the time this is uploaded, I will have posted this on the group. So the yearly challenge for 2022 is going to be to spell out character names. And then I am hoping to do a giveaway at the end of the year where each name you spell out will earn you an entry into the drawing, and you can spell them out using either chart names or designer names. And so I'm trying to decide how many stitches to make each letter. Like maybe like 250 per letter, 200 per letter. So then to spell out Bilbo would be 1,000 stitches. I don't want to make it too easy, but I also don't want to make it too hard. Yeah. Maybe I'll do 250. Because if you do 500, then a 5-letter name would be 2,500, and that makes it a bit more difficult for a lot of people. So I might do, for those who are monogamous stitchers, that you for a alternate task or whatever, that if you don't have a project that meets a letter, you can do 500 on the project of your choice. And that makes it a bigger punishment or penalty for not having one, but it still lets you participate. So that's what I'm thinking. I need to get it posted today. I also have a lot of quests I haven't caught up on, so that's another one of my goals, is to catch up on all quests. Okay, daily 30. Daily 30 always does a year-long event. So last year was the zombie run, in which I quit pretty quick. The previous year was scavenger hunt. And this one is an animal adventure. So we had to blindly select 3 of our projects to use for this challenge, and you can't switch projects unless you, one, find a ranger, and I don't remember how you do that, it was in the directions, or you finish a project and then you can select another one. So the 3 whips I declared were Christmas Quaker 2, and there's no way I'm gonna finish this one before the project is out, but this will get me to work on it every single month. And so this is what that looks like. The second one I picked is Class Schedule, and this is that Sal from years ago. And I just really want to finish it. So this is what mine looks like at this point. And the third one I selected was Lantern Lane. And here is where I'm at on this. I'm gonna need to purchase some more floss because I thought I had purchased enough, but I didn't. So here's where I'm at. I would love to finish this. So every month there are gonna be, I think, 8 animal groupings. 8 animal groupings. We're not told what they are until the start of the month. And then you have 5 different transportation means in which you try to go see the animals. So you could walk, that's 100 stitches, bike, that's 200, drive, that's 300, sail is 400, and fly is 500. And you can do more than one transportation type for each animal grouping, but each animal grouping can only be 1 project. So, and you don't have to do all of the transportation modes. You don't even need to start smallest to biggest. You can do whatever you want in that way. However, you need to use each of those 3 whips. So you need to visit at least 3 animal groupings each month. So I'm pretty excited about this and how it's set up this year, because sometimes I'm just not feeling like a certain whip, and being able to just do 100 stitches on it and call it done is really nice. So I'm looking forward to that, and just trying to get some of these whips done. I'm going to keep trying to select smaller whips as I finish things, so that I hopefully can just get some stuff done, clear out some stash. Oh, not stash, some whips. I really want to whip down this year. The other thing Daily 30 does, oh no, it's not the thing that they do. They just posted a new thing, and so I was going to film this yesterday, but I'm glad I waited because I didn't see it till today. And that is a monthly ornament sal, I guess. where each month you're given a theme and you need to stitch an ornament and finish it with that theme. So on my tree, I've got like no ornaments I made, and I always kind of dream of having a tree that's made up of ornaments that I've made, like even just like a small artificial one where it's just ornaments that I've made. And so I'm really hoping to use this, and I have a bunch of just cross stitch ornament issues, but I never make myself ornaments because I'm always just trying to do other things. And so every month I want to look at the theme, look through the magazines, and pick one that will relate and try to do that project. So the theme for January is trees. I haven't picked one out yet, but in the next week I will have my preview for January video, and I will show you what I ended up selecting. And so they had 15 themes. 12 of them were assigned to each month. 3 were floaters that if you really didn't like a theme or you couldn't find one, you could take one of those extra 3 themes and slip it into a different month. So I'm going to take a quick drink. Oh, so yummy. So that is daily 30. The final cross stitch category, and this one's kind of big, is full coverage fanatics. So there are 4 different challenges for full coverage fanatics that I'm going to talk about and show some whips. So they're down here, so I'm gonna keep on leaning down, sorry about that, to pick them up, but they just didn't fit on my desk at the time. So the first one is called 22,000 in 2022. So you pick one whip and you try to put in 22,000 stitches on it during the year. They gave a little spread so you can color it in as you do each 1,000. So I chose the astronomer. This is as far as I've gotten on it, but I really like this piece and I would like to make some nice progress on it. So after I'm done filming this, I need to take pictures and get them posted. The next challenge that they have is a Bike Around Germany challenge. So here is what that looks like. So you're literally going to try to bike around Germany. You can do either time or you can do the number of stitches, and there was a page made for that. So that's what I'll be using. You have to work on the same project for each leg, but you are allowed to change projects between. However, I'm really hoping to stay with the same project. And that is a map of Middle Earth. I thought that a map would be suited well for a bike around type of thing. So this is, I have about 4 maps of Middle Earth. This is the one I chose for this one. It's I think it's a Russian designer. Yeah, it's a Russian designer. I don't remember if I got it off Etsy or My Bobbin. One thing I really love that a lot of Russian designers do, and I don't feel like enough American designers do, let me just take this off really quick so I can show you, is they include 2, sometimes 4 charts with each of your purchase. And so one of them I'll just show you some random page, is just the plain cross stitch. That's what it looks like, the symbols, everything like that. So that's page 8. The other chart includes the symbols, but also the back stitch. Sorry, let me make sure this is, yeah, the same page as it is. Okay, so this is what the page looked like, just cross stitch. This is it with the back stitch. And it is so helpful to be able to, so I frequently work with these side by side, to be able to do the stitching, just stitching, and not worry about what is the symbol that's being hidden under this back stitch line, or the back stitch lines get obscured, or anything like that, because you can see both so super clearly. It's really helpful, it's really nice, and I wish more designers did it like that. It makes it not as frustrating to do back stitching. So what I do is, here is page 1 where I've highlighted everything I've done, and then on the back stitch copy I just highlight the back stitch as I do it. And here you can see that, wait, yeah, this is where it's at. This is a full coverage piece. It does switch back and forth between half stitches and full stitches, so that's all part of my calculation and counting. But I'm really excited to make some progress on this piece. I really like it. I think it's pretty. There's a lot of block stitching, and yeah, I'm really excited to work on this one for my bike around Germany. I cannot wait to get started on this. I have been storing it in this little case, however you can't fit the pattern in there, so I am going to switch it out for a different project bag after I'm done filming this. Okay. Next, there is a non-counting event where it's based off the different eras. And so January starts with Prehistoric. So either your oldest chart, your oldest project, any like those. So I haven't pre-selected projects for it yet. I'm just gonna go as each month goes, and I'm just gonna try to get in 500 stitches maybe, or something like that. I'm not gonna make this a super focus because I have other focuses for this group and for full coverage, and I've already made bigger plans than I could ever possibly achieve, but that's fine. But anyway, so I am going to do like maybe a couple hours worth of work on something that fits that theme. The last big one is called Whips and Wonders, and so there are 20 different wonders, and for each wonder you need to stitch 5,000 stitches. So for this one, I decided to go through and assign full coverage pieces to the different wonders, and then I left 3 wonders blank because sometimes a project comes up you want to work on, or maybe I finished the 5,000 on one and want to keep working on it some more, that type of thing. So this is where one of these notebooks is going to come in handy. I'm going to give each wonder a page and track the stitches as I work on them throughout the year, and then when I reach 5,000 I can post in the finishing picture and move on. So that's how I'm going to use one of these notebooks to keep proper track of numbers. But anyways, so here's the list. You can see there are 3 that are empty, and I am just gonna go through and show you the 17 that I have chosen so far. These are potentially, they could change. Like, maybe I just really don't ever feel like working on one of these and I slip something else in. So this is tentatively my plans. However, after filming this, I am going to take pictures and post them on to the event. So I'm just ready for everything. So the first one is So Many Books, So Little Time by Randall Spangler, charted by Hayde, and I've got hardly anything done on this. I think about 500, 600 stitches, something like that. That is what it looks like. Let me, yeah, that helps a little bit. So that is 1. Sorry, I have to put away as I go because I have to put this on the ground and the dogs are kind of laying about, so. The next one is also from Hayde. I don't have a cover picture to show, but it is Trick or Treat 2, also from Randall Spangler. And this is all I've gotten done on that. Those are a couple leaves. I continued on this one to see if I could work on a 28 count. It went okay. It didn't go great, but it went okay, so I'm not going to restart this as of yet. I will keep on trying to plug away. Because if you've been watching for a while, you might recall I've restarted a lot of things that were on 28 count onto 18 count because I was having trouble with 28 count. Next is one I haven't worked on in ages, and that is Minnie Jane and the Prisoner of Woolhouse. That's what it looks like. And this is where I am at on it. So 5,000 should get me at least finished the first page, possibly more. Now we have Tinkerbell from Creatively Crafting. This is the only one of the panels I started. And my 5,000 stitches, I'm just going to keep going with the black. So that should be relatively easy to get 5,000 stitches, hopefully. And to make some progress on this project. Although I think she has an Evil Queen one that really kind of appeals to me. The next few are some of my smaller full coverages, and these are the Welcome to projects. They're like 4 pages. So part of my thinking is I might slip some of these into those 3 open slots I have. Because I have, oh, it's lighting up at me. Hey, drink more water. Okay, so welcome to Rohan. I don't know why I said it, Rohan. Have I even started this one, or is it just, yeah, okay, I barely have. Just a little tiny bit. But the great thing about these is it's a ton of block stitching, and so it should be easy to get 5,000 stitches without a ton of confetti. Next up, visit the Shire. And I've done a ton of the sky on this one. So welcome to Arrowbeer. Look at the colors in this. I love that. With that little dragon and the mountain. And I have done hardly anything. I didn't even grid this one. Some random number from some challenge. Anyways, I might grid this. I haven't decided. Maybe I will continue to try to not grid. I like trying different methods just to challenge myself and to really see what works best for me. So maybe I will try this one ungridded for now. But yeah. And the final one in that series is Visit Mordor. That's what that looks like. And here is where I am at. So, yeah. There are a couple Harry Potter related ones, like Visit Hogsmeade, I believe, or something like different ones like that. I've got a couple Gone with the Wind ones, some more Lord of the Rings ones. So I might actually end up switching out some of the other projects and fitting in more of these, but we will see. Who knows? I probably could do all 20 just those and have them be even just different projects. Okay, so back to the Haid type of full coverages. I don't have the cover art, but this is Window with a View. I think this one is absolutely gorgeous. I really love this artwork. I think it's Dominic Davidson. I'm not positive. If I get a chance to properly edit this video, I'll try to pop in some cover pictures, but I honestly don't know, you guys. There's just so much that needs doing. This one is, I believe this one is Up on the Rooftop from Tilton. That's where I'm at on it. You know, there was actually a couple of lips I couldn't find that I was thinking about putting for this challenge. So, if I find those. Okay, this is the Ranger. Again, don't have the cover picture, but that is all I have done on it. And this is another one I've debated restarting on a larger count fabric. Let me pick up the rest of this pile now. Okay, next we have The Nativity by Donna Gelsinger. This is one that I had restarted on larger fabric and done barely anything. This is where I had been on the 28 count. I saw someone doing this max color, max size, and oh my gosh, it was so gorgeous that I had to like talk myself out of buying that because, I mean, 1,000 stitches is just so many for a width. This is one I got because it reminded me so much of my own little dogs. That is Frosty. I haven't worked on this in a hot minute. That's all I ever did on it. But yeah, I do really like this one. Next we have Enchanted Snowman from Heaven and Earth Designs. I don't have the cover picture. I had been trying to do this cross country by a page. I ended up restarting it on 18 count fabric, and doesn't that look beautiful? Oh, I love this one so much. I think I have the other 3 charts, I just haven't started them. The Enchanted Reindeer and the Enchanted Santa. Next we have Christmas Mailbox. Yeah, none of those are cover pictures. This is one I ended up restarting because I ended up buying the max color chart because I've talked about this many times, but the non-max color chart is literally just the same color across like the whole top row of pages. Let me see where it is on this piece of fabric. Like, that was my attempt at it. It is literally just this color across basically the whole top row of pages. I think, in my opinion, it was really bad charting on behalf of Heaven and Earth Designs. There is no reason why it should have been charted that way. But luckily someone showed me that the based on the stitch colors and the cut and the number of stitches, it wouldn't be like that in the max color, and so I purchased the max color. And have I even started it? Negative. That is where I intend to start it on this, and I did look at that first page of this pattern. It is definitely more than one color. So we have Mini Village Bookstore from Randall Spangler. This is one that last year I thought I would do 1 row of stitches across the whole project. That was not for me. So now I am trying to do 1 block of stitches, like 110 down grid across the whole project. And this is kind of interesting. I am kind of interested in watching it work up that way. So those are all my parked threads at the moment, and I do still have a couple of boxes to finish filling in. It's looking like my grid line's kind of fading though, so I'm gonna need to draw in a couple more rows of grid. And this project is 237 wide. So to get 5,000 stitches, I think I will need to do 2 10 down rows, and then I think what's left on that top row should fill in and get me to 5,000 stitches. And the final one I have is another map of Middle Earth. This is the Realm of Middle Earth from Tilton Crafts. It is 975 by 810. So basically, the max size type of, this is what I've done on it. And I do really love the coloring in this particular full coverage, no backstitch version. I've seen it finished and with a ton more progress. Hi, George. And so I do really like this one. This is Kate in the future. So, when I was pulling out pictures to upload on Facebook with starting points, I found 2 rather large full coverage pieces that should have been included, and that would have only left 1 blank. So I have added a new start that I was debating on doing a new start for. This is a Russian design, and it is a map of Hogwarts or something like that. I will insert the cover picture here of what that looks like. I'm super excited about it. I pulled out a piece of fabric, and it was large enough so I didn't even have to cut it. So one other thing I did is I had my full coverage pieces in 2 storage bins alphabetically. What I ended up doing is moving all of the unused ones to 1 storage bin and all of the ones to be used in the full coverage fanatics to another storage bin. So there are now, that's how I have them separated, which will make it nice and easy for finding the project I want to work on. The other design that should have been, well, that wasn't the one that should have been included, that's the one that got thrown in. Silent Night Lane by Donna Gelsinger. Don't know how I could have forgotten this one. I love this piece. And here is where I am at on it. I think Michelle does a really good job charting these Donna Gelsinger ones. They always look fantastic. And I love this bag. It makes me so happy. And the final one that should have been included, and I have no clue how it got forgotten, is of course A Christmas Carol. One of my absolute favorites. And this is one where I'm trying to do it extreme cross country. And so this is black across the top row of pages. So, yeah, those are the ones I wanted to add. So I made this little insert, and now I am going to try to work on editing this monster. Bye, guys. Georgie wants to say hi. Come on, George. Oh, hi, big boy. Yeah, Mama loves you. Mommy loves you. So that concludes all of my cross-stitch year-long plans. Not monthly plans, just year-long ones. So then moving on to knitting and crochet. This is my last section, but should be significantly shorter. So probably this video will only be an hour-and-a-half long feature film. What do you think? What do you think, George? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, that's enough, I think. Thanks. Okay, you want to sit? You want to sit? Okay, knitting and crochet. I want to finish a pair of socks each month. And that's not to say I need to start them in that month, but I have several sock whips. And so just finishing a pair a month will help build my sock collection, also get socks for other people finished, and then I can make it up with other starts of socks. So yeah, so every month I'm going to try to finish a pair of socks. And for the most part, that's what I'm going to be working on during 30 minutes of knitting. My other big kind of project is to make, I forgot to grab, I'm just going to go grab them. I am making a sweater for my husband and I have 50 balls of this yarn, but this is the color. I love it so much. So I can't start this until the new year for the challenge, but making those is a big goal for this year. I've never made a sweater or a cardigan, and so I'm really excited for that. Another big goal is to use 2 mini skeins a week. I think I'm going to try to do the randomizer idea that I shared a couple videos ago, where I'm going to put all of my Advent or my mini skein projects, because some of them are scrappy type. And then as I finish one, I will spin again to choose what project the next mini skein will be worked. And hopefully that will help me make some good progress on all those Advent type of mini skein projects. I'm also going to be participating in the Harry Potter Knitting and Crochet House Cup that's on Ravelry. I should put the link for that. I really like those challenges. It really pushes me. And so yeah, I'm going to continue to participate in that. Then I mentioned 30 minutes a day of knitting. I said probably on socks, but it might be on other whips. Like as I finish sock whips, I will pull out other projects, maybe even ones that were called in whip goes, and work on those for 30 minutes until they're finished. I really want to get it so I don't have multiple whips in a single bag. I want each project to have their own bag and not have to buy more bags. So that's kind of what I'm thinking with that. And I may include like crochet, 30 minutes of crochet instead of knitting type of things. So, and then the final thing is, in the past I've tried to make temperature afghans. And once I tried to make a genre afghan. I'm going to try to do that again for the genre. And so at first I thought that I would use this As We Go stripy pattern. I even printed it out to show you guys, where it's just a hodgepodge of various colors. However, the problem for me is I tend to get stuck in genres. So I might read 10 cozy mysteries in a row. And for a project like that, that's not so suited for color blocks. So there was a made up pattern that I found one time, like years and years ago, probably like 5 years ago, maybe 6, that was in a temperature crochet group for stitching temperatures. And so I made up a kind of swatch to show you guys of what this looks like. It's just it's a 14 row repeat, and it doesn't look so bad when you can have bigger blocks of the same color or just a stripe here and there. So I'm going to try to use that. This is about 3 inches and it's about 10 rows. So if I were to read 100 books, that would only be 30 inches, which is not very long. So this is something that's probably going to be a multi-year project. But I did go through and I randomized colors and put them with genres. I unfortunately did not print that out to show you. Let me pull that up really quick on my Ravelry page. But anyway, so I did it completely random, and so one of my goals will be to read a book for each genre during the course of the year, so that all the colors are included. But I don't want to oh no, tell me I didn't actually delete the whole project. Okay, no, I found it. So, like, okay, the genre adventure, the color I randomized for that was pumpkin, so it's an orangey kind of color. Autobiographies or biographies, white. Children's book, pagoda. Classics is a robin egg. Contemporary fiction is plum wine. Dystopian is light country blue. Fan fiction, I even put fan fiction in here, is blue mint. Fantasy is sunshine, and I'm hoping to read a lot of fantasy this year, so sunshine is apparently going to show up a lot. Historical fiction is black. Horror is grape. Mystery, and I'm going to do that mainly for cozy mysteries, is berry blue. Nonfiction is persimmon. Paranormal is iris. Poetry is harvest red. I don't love a lot of poetry, so religious fiction is sage. Religious nonfiction, lavender blue. Romance is the dark country blue. Science fiction is autumn red. Thriller is country blue. And young adult is pistachio. So I feel like that's a good mix of genres to try to hit all of those for at least one book, and then get all those colors included. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to do this project, and just one stripe per book when I finish the book, and yeah, it will just kind of be like a representation of all the books that I read. So that is the final plan that I had to share with you guys. Thank you for watching and following along. This will go up, so this should be going up on Thursday. Today's Wednesday, right? So then Friday, so tomorrow, which is Thursday for me, I will try to film my end of the year wrap up and get that posted for Friday. And then Saturday will be the new year. And I'm trying to decide if I'm going to maybe vlog it, because I will be drawing winners for the giveaway. I will be hopefully starting several projects. I want to put in some stitches on some of these challenges so I can just get some of the challenges going. So I might do somewhat of a crafty vlog, but it also depends on what my husband wants to get up to that day. So we will see. But until then, thank you for joining me and for listening to all of this rambling. And I will talk to you guys again tomorrow. Bye.